Alright, today we are classifying polynomials, which is going to help us later when we start graphing these polynomials. So when we classify polynomials, we classify them by two different things. We classify them by the degree and by the number of terms. So we know that a polynomial is the sum or difference of many monomials. Monomials, remember, are one term. So the sum or difference of many one-term pieces. And so the highest exponent of the polynomial is what we call the degree, which I've kind of touched on that a little bit. So the highest exponent is the degree of the polynomial. And so when we're writing polynomials in standard form, the highest exponent is first. And then they count down. And the last term is a constant if it has one. So we're going to write the polynomials in standard form. So I want my highest degree to be first, my highest exponent. So that is a 5. So negative k to the 5th is my first term. Then I would look for the next one, which would be a exponent of 4. I don't have one, so I'll go to the next one, which is an exponent of 3. Then I want the exponent of 2. Exponent of 1, and then the constant. So make sure that when we're writing it in standard form, we're keeping the coefficients with the terms. Now on number 11 and on number 12, we have two different variables. So when we have two different variables, it gets a little tricky. So we want the highest number first, the highest exponent, which looks like it is a 3. So 4a cubed is the highest, and then we're looking for a square, but see we have two different ones. So we like to write these in alphabetical order, so I'm going to go with the 18a squared b squared first, and then I'll write the minus b squared. And then the very last one will be that plus 7ab since it has exponents of 1. Then on number 12, the same thing. So we're looking for the highest exponent, which is this 4 here. So negative y to the 4th. And then we want an exponent of 3. So plus 9x cubed y. Then an exponent of 2. We have two different ones. We like to go in alphabetical order. So negative x squared will be first. Then plus 5 xy squared. Since the x squared is before the y squared, we gotta keep it that way. And then plus 2. So remember I said that the last term will be a constant if there is one. We see on number 11 that it did not have a constant, but on 10 and 12 they did, so those were their last terms. So now in this next section, we are classifying by degree and the number of terms. So we are going to fill in this chart on the left here. So the degrees, if it has a degree of 0, that is called a constant. If it has a degree of 1, then that is linear. A degree of 2 is quadratic. Degree of 3 is cubic. Degree of 4 is quartic, like a quarter. And degree of 5 is quintic. And that's as high as we're going to see them. And then for the number of terms, when we classify by number of terms, if it only has one, it is a monomial. If it has two terms, it's a binomial. 3 terms, trinomial. And if it has 4 or more, we kind of give it up and we just call it a polynomial. So if it has 3 or less, make sure you are specific about what it is called, and then if it's 4 or more, we'll just call it a polynomial. So on number 13, we're going to classify each polynomial by degree and number of terms. So there's 1 term here, 2 terms, 2 terms, and the highest degree is a power of 1 on that x. So 2 terms and degree of 1, which means I have a linear binomial. 14, we have 1, 2, 3 terms. And my highest exponent is this one here, that 5, which means that the degree is 5. So we have a quintic polynomial, trinomial. A quintic trinomial. Number 15, 24. It has 1 term, and its degree is 0. So anything that's just a number is a degree of 0. So this is a constant monomial. Number 16, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, and degree of 3. There it is. So we have a degree of 3, which means it's a cubic, and 4 terms, which means it is a polynomial. So we have a cubic polynomial. We have 1, 2, 3 terms. And my highest exponent is right here in the front, which means I have a degree of 2. Degree of 2 means that it is a quadratic. And 3 terms means it is a trinomial. So we have a quadratic trinomial. 18, we have 1 term. And my degree is 4. Degree of 4 means it is quartic. And a 1 term is monomial. On 19, give an example of a cubic binomial. We could come up with many. A cubic binomial means the degree is 3, and there are 2 terms. So let's do 2x cubed plus 1. We have 2 different terms, and the highest exponent is a 3. Number 20, give an example of a linear monomial. So that's a degree of 1 and 1 term. So for that one, let's just do the classic x. It has a degree of 1, and it's only 1 term. So then for your homework, is this next page, which looks like a lot, but it is not, because this first section is just matching. So you match column A to column B. Second section, matching again, column A to column B. And so in the first one, they are going by the degrees. And then in the second one, they're going by the number of terms. And then on this last one, you're going to write from this word bank each of the polynomials. You will classify them by degree and number of terms. So the first two sections are matching, and then you're just doing what we did here on 13 through 20. On 10 through 14, you're going to be writing what they are called, what they're classified by the number of terms and their degrees. So this is just day one of classifying, and we will continue classifying on Monday.